right? And the difference between Cain and Abel's offering wasn't necessarily just the quality of the offering, but it's what the quality said about the heart of the person giving the offering. Right? Because if the quality of what Cain offered to God was the best that he had to offer, I'm fully like can say with my full chest that the Lord would have accepted it wholeheartedly if that was the best he knew he could offer. Look at the story of in the New Testament, the parable that Jesus uses with the woman who has a single coin, and the Pharisee or the this rich person has the ability to give
Plenty.
so much more, but he's like, surely I tell you, the woman who gave a single coin has given much more, not because of the quality of what she gave, but what it represented for her in her heart, because that is all she had. Right? So when it comes to how we define excellence, are we giving all that we know we can give, or are we just giving the bare minimum because we're like, oh, like, I mean, God will understand, and growing up in like the church and serving in the church, it always felt like you're doing too much if you're trying to, for some reason, give your best, because everybody was always so content about giving bare minimum. So it felt like you're an Abel in the midst of Cain's.
Wow.
And you would sometimes be stoned.
Quite literally. Yeah.
For wanting excellence, right? It's like this idea that the Lord is okay with settling, to me, is preposterous, because if you look at even how detail oriented and specific the Lord was when it came to the building of the initial temple, the Lord was very intentional about not only who he chose, but how he chose to craft, right, his temple, and how he wanted it built. And so I think that tells us that the Lord cares about excellence, right? And most importantly, he cares about our heart when we're actually doing these things, because it's all an extension of worship. What you get put out is what you feel about God. That's how I see it.